Most people have the wrong definition of ultra-processed food, and until you understand this one thing, you'll keep blaming the wrong foods and eating worse because of it. Processing isn't the enemy. Formulation is.
Baby and toddler foods are getting sweeter every year, and most of it is ultra-processed.
Ultra-processed foods. They're often cheap and convenient, and Americans, of course, eat a lot of them.
Because here's the thing, ultra-processed food isn't just junk food. It's showing up places you wouldn't expect. It has taken over the grocery store. And I think we all already know that it's unhealthy, addictive.
Ultra-processed foods, they are everywhere. Their convenience and cost sometimes are very appealing.
Foods to avoid for better health. More than half of our calories are coming from ultra-processed foods.
Right now, ultra-processed food has become a catch-all villain. If it's made in a factory, people call it ultra-processed garbage, poison. Influencers throw the word toxic around like it means nothing.
The more you cook with it, the more toxic it becomes.
Garbage food. And it's actually toxic for your thyroid.
It leaches out the toxins.
What's more toxic than Taco Bell, KFC, even McDonald's?
But I believe that definition is lazy, it's misleading, and dangerous. Because by that logic, most of the food you rely on to live is ultra-processed food. Now, I know a lot of people know this. Everything is processing when it comes to food. People have talked about this a lot. Processing is not new. Grinding grain into flour is processing. Cooking food is processing. Fermenting food is processing. Freezing vegetables is processing. Pressing olives into oil is processing. If you're cutting food with a knife, you are processing it. And if you own a machine that's in your kitchen that spins with a blade and you put food into it, that is called a food processor. So when someone says, I avoid processed foods, what they mean is I avoid foods I've been taught to fear. I just watched a video from Dr. Eric Berg where he showed the processing of a cracker and made it seem like it was dangerous, toxic, or something to fear. But it's simply flour, water, oil, salt, starches, things put together to make a dough and then form it into a cracker. At one point, there was dangerous music playing while they were literally churning peanut butter. And then people started to ask, well, what about all of the extra ingredients, the preservatives, like folate, which is vitamin B? So that's the problem. People like him teach you to fear processing, but processing itself tells you almost nothing about whether food is good or bad for you. Before we take this dive into processed foods, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Hungryroot. I've been using Hungryroot for a couple of years now, and I will never go back. It truly simplifies my life. You know, Monica and I are both incredibly busy from our jobs. I'm a creator. We're running marathons. It's been a game changer, saving time doing all of my weekly food shopping with Hungryroot. Hungryroot plans all my meals and groceries for the week, fills my cart, and delivers everything I'll need to eat healthy every day, all while fitting my health goals, dietary preferences, and budget. And if your New Year's resolution is to start fresh with healthy eating, Hungryroot makes it incredibly easy to get going and actually stick with it. With over 50,000 recipes to choose from each week, there's something for everybody. They have great options for the whole family with healthy groceries like smoothies, kid snacks, sweets, ready-to-eat meals, salad kits, and even supplements. And I love that Hungryroot holds all of its foods to high standards, screening out over 200 additives, including high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives. So gang, you're gonna love Hungryroot as much as I do. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life. Click the link below or go to hungryroot.com and use code SAUCE. That's 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life at hungryroot.com and use code SAUCE. Hungryroot, as always, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for always having just incredible food. A lot of this comes from the NOVA system. It groups foods into categories: unprocessed, minimally processed, processed, and ultra-processed. But here's the issue. It focuses on how food is made, not why food is made the way it is. And that is a massive blind spot. Because two foods can be equally processed and have completely opposite health outcomes. So that's the part I believe everyone is missing. It's formulation. What I mean by that is the danger is how ingredients are combined to create overconsumption. Most harmful ultra-processed foods share the same design features: high calorie density, low fiber, low protein, hyperpalatable fat plus sugar, or fat plus refined starch. They require minimal chewing, and they're engineered to be easy to overeat. That's not an accident, that's a product design. How many times have you sat down at the couch with a sleeve of Oreos and accidentally eaten the whole thing versus sitting down with a bushel of apples and accidentally eating the whole thing? That's product design. So let's compare a few. Soda versus protein shake. Both of them would be considered ultra-processed. One is liquid sugar with no satiety. The other has protein, fiber, macronutrients, and actually reduces hunger. They're both in the same product category with completely different metabolic effects. Here's another one, a little bit closer example. White bread versus fortified whole grain bread. Both processed. One is a refined starch that can spike your blood sugar. The other includes fiber, protein, minerals, and can slow digestion. Processing didn't decide that. The formulation did. What about frozen vegetables versus fast food fries? Both processed. One of them improves diet quality. The other is engineered for maximum calorie intake. Again, same words, totally different reality. So when people hear avoid ultra-processed foods, they often end up cutting out important protein sources. I've heard people that are fearful of eating tofu or tempeh when they're incredible sources of protein because they're plant-based and they've heard that plant-based food is all ultra-processed. I've seen people comment about avoiding certain fortified foods that are fortified to avoid deficiencies. They're fearful of the fortification. That's good for you. It's like taking a vitamin. And then other examples are people that are replacing processed foods with worse versions of homemade or less processed foods, less healthy versions. Frying your French fries in beef tallow doesn't make them healthier. They're still high calorie, high fat, not good for you French fries. And it also creates a feeling of guilt over clarity. It creates a purity mindset. If you think health equals less processing, you'll likely chase aesthetics instead of outcomes. And ironically, when people start going down this road, they tend to eat less fiber, less protein, and fewer nutrients because of it. So here are some better questions than, is it ultra processed, that you can ask yourself when looking at food. Does this food keep me full? Does it provide energy, protein, or fiber? Is it easy to overeat? Is this something that you know that, like a cookie, a couple hundred calories for one cookie and you can eat a few? Would I stop naturally or keep going? And if you're working out, going to the gym, does it support your training, your energy levels throughout the day? Does it make you feel good? Those questions matter much more than how many factory steps were involved. Processing is a tool. We need processing to create enough food for the developing world. It's helped us and it's sustained us. Formulation determines whether that tool is good or bad for us. I'm gonna say this one last time, and I hope people really stick with this and do their research. Ultra-processed foods are not dangerous because they're processed. They're dangerous when they're low satiety, high reward, cheap calories, and engineered for excess. And on the flip side of that, some ultra-processed foods are why modern diets can be higher in protein, higher in fiber, and nutrient dense. Now, I've talked about my weight loss a lot on this channel, losing over 100 pounds, and I was able to do that because I chose better foods. But that doesn't mean that I stayed away from, avoided, or was fearful of others. I learned that some foods are designed to try to keep you to eat more. And once you understand that, you can know that when you do want one of those, you can have one, you just shouldn't have the whole bag. Or if you do end up having the whole bag, that's okay. It's not gonna kill you. It's not toxic like so many of these influencers say. That's a scare tactic so they gain more views. So when someone says you should avoid ultra processed, don't eat that thing, it's toxic. Ask them, processed how? And formulated for what? Because health isn't specifically about purity, it's about design. And once you see that, you'll never look at food labels the same way again. I'm excited for the comments on this one. Happy New Year.